Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I had to go and get myself a cup of tea because I don't know how I messed up my. I think it's squealing too much playing Borderlands. I killed my throat. It's days to recover.
You always play games and hurt your throat. You should be more sensible.
Yeah, I know. I should talk less. Is that what you're saying? Stop talking during cutscenes and stop walking
I'm
away
always
from the people
In
talking. To
a
me.
roundabout way, yeah.
We still have cookies.
I'm always for that.
How about those?
All right. So, anyways, all right. So let's see. As you guys finish up your business there and head out and grab the last little supplies that you need to move on, because there was nothing specific that you wanted to do while you were here, so we don't really need to cover those details. One of the things I did want to point out was that as you guys entered to into the Kraken Bay, what you guys may or may not have noticed, depends on how close you sit to the first, second, and potentially third mates, so how close you sit to Kieran while she's navigating and whatnot, is that she specifically stayed, usually when you sail and you do little voyages like this along the skirts of a continent, you want to stay close to the land. That's an intentional thing. You always stay close to the land. But when she was going to cross the Kraken Bay, she very much left the land for like a couple days. She intentionally stayed as far away from the land as she fucking could. Would anybody have asked her about that? I mean, maybe not at the time, but definitely here. Would you have asked about the fact that she stayed as far away from the land as possible?
I honestly don't think Reich would even know that that was a thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is one of his first long-term excursions on boats, so.
Yeah, well, and it's also not your first time leaving the side of land. Usually if you spend time on boats, you know this because it's become second nature, but you've gone to Zendrick, so you've actually left land before.
Would we be close enough to actually see like the mist or anything, Scott?
Absolutely not. You're miles away.
Why.
Yeah,
So are we just leaving Palis Mirandal now? Or is this retroactive description?
This is retroactive.
Yeah, I was explaining something that would have happened in the past.
The Kraken Bay was between.
Yeah, I know. I was confused.
Yeah.
He was just letting us know that was the thing we did because out of game we don't want to sail anywhere close to the Moorlands because it's magical fuckery.
Yeah, Stalbo doesn't know what that is yet, so.
All right.
I know what the Moorlands are, but I don't really know much about them.
Mm-hmm.
So so we're not going to describe that or anything. You do leave Palas Maridal once you're done with your business there and everything is underway. Your ship is now lighter, but still very burdened as you're carrying a bunch of stuff to the final destination that you... Sorry, is this the final one? I believe it is. The final destination that you agreed to go to. Just double checking before those are principalities. It is. And this is going to New Throne was where you want it to be. So,
Actually, no. So very little about Kubara, other than why it was formed.
Okay.
That's it.
There you go. So, this is actually going to be a voyage of decent length. You guys are going to be able to see for a pretty long period of time with this one. And it's definitely now that, once again, you'll definitely be hovering the alongside these. You'll always be able to see land off one side of the ship. It's one of the things that you'll notice. So, cool. When you leave there and you start your voyage heading on, Kieran, I need you to roll me a D100, please.
I would like to talk to Kieran at earliest convenience.
You can literally day one after things are situated.
Yeah.
Land's pushing away.
Oh, Stalbort, we weren't gonna kill you and stuff you with salt. Don't be ridiculous.
You say that, he just leaves again. And then the next day, he comes back, which is funny because you're sleeping in the same room as him, so he's just like ignoring you the whole time, which isn't that weird because he's trances. But the next day he'd come up to you and be like, "The other elf on this ship, why was he in Vayanar? What was his business?"
Well, he's here to strengthen relations with the house, so probably house business.
Are you sure he's here to strengthen relations with the house?
That's what I was told. Why?
I don't know. I don't trust them.
No?
I still think I'm being watched by my homeland.
You are one.
One what?
An Aaron elf?
Yes. I still think I'm being watched by my homeland. And
I
he could be an agent of whatever member of the Undying Court has an interest in me.
To what end?
Or ones that don't. Or have an interest in me not being, etc., etc. I could go on.
I'm gonna kill you while you're here.
No, I don't. I'm not worried about him killing me. I'm worried about him talking about me.
Oh, I mean, we've left now, so any information they would have, they've already have.
When he gets back to Aaron, I don't suppose there's some undying court vestige in Valinor.
Oh, you're worried he's gonna take information back you to Arano?
Yes.
All right. What do you want to do about that?
Well, he's on your ship. You should ask him questions.
All right, I can ask some questions.
Just sort of like nod and leave again.
Oh God! You know what he just did? He just said, "All right, you see this guy over here? He's a chicken. Okay, he's literally just a plump chicken, very well fed for the first like several years of its life, and it's in great health. Okay, Kieran, you're a starved bulldog. Go hang out with that chicken for a minute. Just fucking unleash the Kraken. All right." Kieran,
Stalbor knows what he's fucking doing.
I imagine immediately after that conversation, you walk straight to the guy.
Yeah.
Not one to cut corners.
God, what's his name?
What was his name? Yeah, I was gonna say. What was
Emerald.
Emerald, thank you.
Emerald.
From the handout.
Dalo.
Yellow, yep.
Listen, Emerald, why are you on the ship? When were you commissioned to be on the ship?
Oh, I'm on this ship because of potential dealings that I have with your house, with House Lyrandar, with he's your uncle, correct?
Yeah. Were you conscribed to this vessel back when the Minotaur was the captain?
Oh no, I was in addition after things had changed.
Okay. My elven companion is concerned that you are a spy. Sent here to spy on him. And I'm gonna like watch his reaction to that.
Roll me an insight.
Thank you.
He's an elf. He doesn't blink. He just sort of stares into your soul.
You can see that he genuinely looks curious when you say that. It's one of those things where he doesn't have a reaction like a, "Oh no, you found out," or like, he's actually, when you say that, he looks curious, like,
Is there anything I need to be worried about?
His accents. He's from. Oh shit! I forget the name of that city. He's from the port cities. He's from the port side of Aranel, isn't he?
I have absolutely no idea.
It has a strange twang to it. Almost has a bit of an earthy tone to it that's unlike most elves that I've met before.
Is there any reason why information being brought back to the court would be useful for them?
I did not even think twice of it until you brought it out. Why would he be concerned about the courts looking into our matters? And how much do you know of this court?
I know that they are dead spirits of ancestors.
You also know that Stalbor thinks he's being spied by them, and he thinks that they're a scam.
And he's very concerned about the whole ordeal.
How have you come to learn this information?
He told it to me. We were very drunk at the time. To be fair, I don't know how much of it's true.
So Stalbor has told you about the hierarchy of our homeland.
Not in so many words.
And he's concerned that they're spying on him.
Yep.
I didn't think anything of it until you brought it up, but Stalbor has a stench of death to him. It's very unusual. What is this lingering taste that permeates the air whenever he's about?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
It's almost like formaldehyde had gone bad.
He does appear to be technically dead.
but he's not.
No.
How long have you known this Stalbor?
What's it been? 2 years? Year and a half?
That's a blink of an eye.
For
And-
you?
Well, for him as well. And yet you two seem to trust each other a considerable amount.
We've helped each other in numerous dangerous situations. Why?
He seems to see things from the perspective of no offense, but people like your own, which means that he's spent a considerable amount of time with them, not just recently, but in his past before. It's altered his perceptions. Why would I be... Go ahead. You.
No, and she'll stop.
Why would I be concerned or looking into his matters?
I have no idea. He is very paranoid about the whole situation.
He's paranoid about his homeland. Is he a criminal?
I wouldn't know.
Where did you meet him?
Sharn?
Where in Sharn?
Not in a great area, Sharn.
So he obviously didn't show up as an emissary of someone of prominence, so very likely he's someone who was trying to, we can say, more like a refugee or someone trying to evade notice or law. To answer your question a little bit more fully, your house would like to procure larger sums of sorewood from the lands that I come from, and we have arrangements that have been set forth between various accords across the 12, and they're looking to shake that up a little bit. I believe that's a term that you're familiar with. I've heard it a few times.
Yes.
And for that to be worthwhile for us, because these trees take an incredibly long time to grow, centuries to grow. So to cut them down more often than we could replenish them is not something that we generally want to do. But it could be potentially worth our while if other things can benefit us. We miss our brethren, and so I was there trying to reunite in some way or another with them.
I see.
It was a mission of diplomacy, both between myself and my cousins, and between myself and our descendants, kind of gesturing to yourself.
Oh, that is actually quite interesting. If you need further help with that, don't hesitate to let me know.
Captain, you seem like a very capable woman at handling a vessel, the way that you got us through that storm. I will not lie to you. I was rather concerned every moment that we were in it. I trust you in every way when it comes to sailing the ship, and I've also been able to see the kind of magics that you can call to your whim, and they are something to behold and frightening indeed. And should we ever come across pirates or monsters or anything of that like, I will definitely stand behind you and trust that you will handle the situation quickly and thoroughly. When it comes to acts of diplomacy, however, I think I will handle them.
Oh, no. I don't want to be diplomatic. If you need help getting somewhere, if you need passage, let me know. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Why? I thank you very much. I appreciate the offers. I am again here on at the request of your uncle, and there are a few other places where I will need to visit, but for now I will keep to my own. If you need anything else, please don't feel free to feel free. Don't hesitate to ask. Perhaps you have more questions about the lands from which I come.
I actually would like to know more, but I'll get back to you that later.
He nods to that and walks away. Where was Stalbor this whole time? Conveniently way away.
Hiding behind the barrel.
Stalbor actually... I was tempted to have him nearby listening, but no, he would actually be like talking to N about anything else, and very engaged conversation to distract himself from thinking about it. It literally, you know what it's actually a conversation about? It's a conversation about embalming techniques.
That's creepy.
How does N respond to that? I'm curious.
Actually, with that curiosity, End's genuinely curious. Like, End doesn't know why you would want to preserve the body. Like, what is the benefit of doing so, and stuff like that. Like,
Well, in the case of Aeronel, it's because it's very likely going to be needed in the future to talk to someone. But yeah, that's what my father did, and my mother did.
End counters this conversation with techniques on how to rapidly decompose a body.
Then he's like interested. Then it becomes more than like a cover.
Have you ever had corn? Some people call it edible gold.
You know, my culture call it maize.
Now, you come from a tropical climate, so you're familiar with lemons. But do you know about limes? And like goes down the list of different ways to rapidly decompose bodies.
You see Reich like eating some food off to the side, just stop eating, throw the rest of the food overboard, and just get up and walk away.
Yeah, where Reich's from, they don't embalm bodies and they don't decompose them rapidly. They just fucking eat them. Okay, they just fucking cook them and eat them.
That's the way to deal.
No, we just leave them where they are. It's actually they call it leave it where they lie.
Okay, so any other like big conversations you guys want to have with one another before I get to Aaron's role?
If Kieran's not going to come back to stay on Stalbor.
I probably wouldn't, to be honest, like unless he asked further.
Okay.
Kind of. He would give you expecting looks, but not explicitly ask, which means Kieran wouldn't talk about it, and the cycle continues.
Okay.
Of course. I did want to have one more conversation with N as we get closer to the principalities.
What was that? I'm sorry?
I did want to have one more conversation with N before we got to the principalities.
Gotcha. So you're not...
But it would be like as we're getting close.
Yeah, you have a long ways between here and there.
Cool.
One of the things N does, very specifically does, that you guys would notice, is N spends very little time around Luca whatsoever. Actually gives Luca an extremely wide berth. You know what I mean? Little to no interaction. If Luca's in a situation that N is also in, N gives very polite acknowledgement of the fact that Luca's there. But overall, literally just like avoids Luca entirely. I imagine, I'm just going to say this because even though Will's not here, I'm just going to say this. If any of you guys were concerned that that's because the fight from before is continuing on, I imagine N eventually told Kieran, oh no, that's fine, we already took care of it. And Luca eventually told Stalbor, oh no, that's fine, we took care of it. You know what I mean? Reich might be in the, dark. Somebody gossiped it over to Reich's poor ears. Or Reich would just not give a shit. But just so you guys are aware. So as you guys are traveling, Aaron, you rolled that 52, I believe it was. Could you roll me another D100? Because that just means smooth sailing, clean skies. Okay, well, thank you for the 93. You guys actually do come across another bout of bad weather. However, unfortunately, this one is going to be a doozy. Aaron, this is going to happen while you're still traveling along the borders of Valinar. I mean, exactly where you are on the border, you're not entirely sure, but you know that you're still along the lands of Valinar. You've already crested around the peninsula, and you've already gone past the river that feeds out like the whole bayou area that's right there. You've gone past that, the mouth opening of that huge river. But it's not very far. Maybe the second peninsula, maybe shortly thereafter, when you see, this is not, and again, you have foresight because of your dragon mark and your advantage ability. One of them tells you bad weather's coming. The combination of both of them tells you this is really bad weather coming. I mean, you're in that season. You have two options. You can either continue to push on and just kind of be cautious, or you can just screw it and go back in and take cover on land.
I have no wisdom.
Yeah, but you're a good captain.
I'm a sailor. I know.
Yeah, you're a really good captain.
We're probably gonna take cover. Yeah, we're gonna take cover.
Okay, so knowing that the storm's coming and very rapidly approaching, you try to give order, like you tell people, you inform them there's a huge storm coming. Roll for me. And again, I'm going to give you advantage on this to try to get to the lands quick enough. Roll for me a vessels check. It's a good thing I'm giving you advantage for a few of these
I
things. 'cause
know.
your
I'm
abilities,
rolling
'cause-
like garbage.
Yeah. All right, so you are able to get to the land as the bad weather's coming in. The winds are picking up. The rain's already, like, you can see, like, the curtain of rain off into the distance, like, because you can always see very far in the, at sea. So, you see the curtain of rain off in the distance. You feel the winds picking up. You can smell the air. You can smell that storm coming. Everybody's aware of the fact that it's coming in. When finally you're able to find your way over to the land. Unfortunately, with where you are, the lands that you come across are very, very rocky area. It is not super secure for where the ship is. You can either screw it, buckle down where we are, don't get too close to the land, otherwise you can be thrown into the rocks, stay a little bit out to sea, or you can take your luck and try to push yourself closer to a place where the ship can actually be properly anchored.
I'm gonna push my luck.
Okay, sure. They're going to roll me, but this time not with advantage. You're getting normal.
I broke my character sheet.
Uh,
It won't let me scroll down. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so you get a 15 again. You're actually able to push yourself further. You choose a direction that you think is going to be the best one, where you're going to find the best lands, and so you actually head back over to. You head back a little bit, backtracking a little bit, where you believe there's going to be some safer lands. You do find some, and you're able to throw anchor down, pull up the sails, button everything down, tie everything down, so on and so forth. You lead your crew to do this and to do it well. I'm going to have to ask the party, where are you guys? What are you doing during the stormy weather? Does Reich jump into the fray and help all hands on deck? Does Reich try to stay below deck, Stalbor, and obviously Karen, you're giving commands?
Reich would be right in there. I've been spending this whole time trying to learn how to be a useful part of the crew. So if they need help and if I can help, I'll be there.
Okay.
Stalbor will be below deck, but with people. Also, always keeping an eye on the other elf.
Oakley dokley. Where is my bowl of the sea?
Assuming he's not trying to help, because he probably isn't. So
I can't
he'd be about.
I have it open, Scott, if you need.
It's at the tier for me.
It's annoying. I had it here, but it doesn't really matter.
Sci-Fi meant the specifics.
Yeah, well, I was gonna look for something, so it doesn't really matter. I have my my drive open, but I'm just wondering if it's actually under my other email address and not this one, and that's why I can't find it. But it doesn't matter. I'll find it later. So